You've probably looked at the title of this video and thought, no, that's impossible. You cannot go from silver to diamond. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm Stylosa and this is Unit Lost, and I'm going to tell you how the hell you can get from silver to diamond in 5 easy tips. Now, the reason why I know this is because I put the shout out for a load of video footage to be sent in to me for my new Overanalyze series, which is where I look at videos of you guys playing games and then I coach you. Like, I comment on what you're doing, maybe give you tips and advice, and in the comments of those videos, all the viewers do the same as well. It's awesome. Anyway, through watching loads of these videos from silver, gold, platinum, and even low diamond players, one thing is really clear. It's easy to go from silver to diamond. A silver player, mechanically, so what I'm talking about with that, I'm talking about the way they aim, the way they move around, is very similar to a low diamond player. The reason why I've not included bronze into this, because bronze players, from what I've noticed after watching maybe 20 or 30 or so games from bronze players, you've got to remember, the videos that I get sent in are sort of the best games, you know, of those players. It's not like they're sending me their worst games in. But when I look at bronze videos, it looks like they have a problem aiming. They've got way too high sensitivity on their mouse, or they're just not aiming very well on the targets. Whereas silver to diamond, yeah, sure, diamond players have got better accuracy, but it's not 100% better. It's maybe 10% better or 15% better. Right, so let's get stuck into this, because you can do this. If you are silver, you can get to diamond, right? I 100% believe in this. If you're bronze, then you just need to work on your accuracy, then follow these tips and you will get straight into diamond. Believe in Sty, because this is the truth. The first tip, do your job. Sounds simple on the face of it, but you will not believe the amount of videos that I've watched where people are not doing their job. If you're playing Ana, heal your team. Don't worry about killing the enemy. Heal. You're doing your main job there, you will win more games. If you're playing Reinhardt, don't just charge into the enemy willy-nilly. Don't go in swinging your hammer all crazy. Try and protect your team. Try and protect choke points. Keep your barrier up. Play conservatively. You will win more games at the silver to diamond level range if you do that. If you're diving in crazy, it's not going to work. You're not going to win. If you're playing Lucio, try and stay alive. Try and keep your team healed. Don't try and go in on the front line and die. That is not what you need to do. If you do your job and you play the hero the way it is designed to be played, you will win more games. If you're playing McCree, great, that's awesome. Kill the enemy. Don't just stand there and do nothing. If you're not landing hits with McCree, then swap onto somebody else that maybe you could play. One of the worst things that people do in this game is they lock into Hanzo, they lock into Bastion, they lock into Torbjorn, they lock into Soldier or any hero, and they don't play the hero correctly, yet they just keep playing the hero. And it's like, no, you have to change. If you're not doing anything, if you're not effective in that role you've selected, you have to swap your hero. It doesn't matter what the enemy team are doing. If you want to play Hanzo, that's fine. You've bought the game, you can play Hanzo. But if you're looking to win and you're playing Hanzo and your accuracy is low, you're not doing enough damage, then you need to swap off Hanzo. I mean, sure, if you're playing Hanzo and you're killing the enemy team, then just keep playing Hanzo. That's cool. But if you're not, you've got to swap. And so many people fall into this trap. They do not swap when they need to, and they just don't do their job. So just think to yourself, what do I need to do? Am I a DPS character? Okay, I need to damage the enemy. That's what I need to prioritize. Am I a healer? Right, I'm going to heal the team and I'm going to try and stay alive. Am I a tank? I'm going to try and absorb damage and make openings for my team to attack into. That's all you've got to do. Play simple, play safe. Tip number 2. Well, I've just said play safe, haven't I? Tip number 2 is do not overextend. Loads of people do this and it drives me wild. What this means is do not set up a defense in front of the enemy's spawn. You have overextended massively there. Even if you wipe them out 3 or 4 times, as soon as they get a kill onto you, you have to run back so far to get back to the defensive position. They're just respawning when they die, like you're achieving nothing. You've got to make the enemy travel a fairly similar distance to you. Now, sure, when they're on attack, it's probably going to be closer to their spawn than it is your spawn. That's why you need to use choke points. That's why Eichenwald, for example, you defend in the bridge choke. You don't go past that and defend beyond it, because that's crazy. And the other thing where people go completely mad, and this generally is related to people playing people like Genji, people like Soldier, people like McCree, any other DPS hero, Tracer suffers from this as well. They go too deep, way too deep. They get a kill, and then they just keep going, and they dive into the back line of the enemy, way past the defensive position, and they get killed. It might be awesome that you've got a kill, but remember, if you're defending a point and you die, it is the worst thing ever. Even if you kill somebody and then you die, that's a benefit to the enemy because they will get there before you. They will respawn and get back into the fight. So do not overextend. If you get a kill, that's cool. Pull back. Don't go too deep. Going deep will kill you. One of the worst things healers can do as well is follow people who have gone in too deep. If you see Genji and he goes in way too deep, then just leave him to die because that's his problem. If you go in there and try and help him, you could get caught out and you could get killed as well. And that's going to screw your team over majorly. So just do not overextend. Number 3, intelligent picks. Now, what this means is... Alright, let me just preface this with a little bit of info. This doesn't mean, oh no, Stai's telling me to play meta heroes. Stai's telling me to stop playing Hanzo. Stai's telling me to stop playing this. The meta doesn't matter. Nobody gives a shit about the meta unless you're a pro gamer, right? Ignore that crap. What matters is you pick a hero that's going to work in any given situation. So, let's think of a situation. Everybody selects a DPS hero on your team. You have no healers. You have no tanks. If you're sitting there on Hanzo and you see 5 other DPS, you should swap to a healer or a tank. If you do that, your teammates might do the same. A lot of games at silver to, in fact, silver to diamond within that entire range are lost because the teams are not very good. Because what the build of the team is really bad. There will be like a Torbjorn, a Symmetra, a Soldier, a McCree, a Genji, and a Hanzo. That is the worst team ever. There is no healing there, apart from Soldier. There are no tanks. You can't hold chokes. You're just going to get rolled over. So sometimes, what you've got to think to yourself, if you're looking to rank up, is, all right, I really would like to play Hanzo, but we've got a lot of other DPS. Maybe you've got 1 support, 1 tank, and then a load of DPS. Alright, that's not too bad, but if you go to another support, so maybe the support that you've got in this team is a Lucio and you go to an Ana, that means that, oh, hang on a minute, you've got a lot of healing there. You've only got 1 tank, but that's kind of doable, and you've got the other DPS. You've got more chance of winning there than if you just stayed on the DPS. And this is honestly, it's a really big point, and you have to be flexible. Like, do not go into the game and think all I'm going to do is play this one hero over and over and over again, and I don't care what the enemy, well, not what the enemy are doing, what I'm doing, because it doesn't really matter what the enemy are doing. It matters what your team is doing. If you have no healers or you have no tanks, then maybe drop onto one because it's going to give you more of a chance. Reinhardt is the great example for this. Let's use Eichenwald as an example again. If you're trying to attack through that choke point and they're defending under the bridge and they've got a Reinhardt and you don't have one, well, how are you going to get through there? You know, maybe you've just got a Roadhog as a tank and all DPS. You're just going to get melted because you're not going to be able to bring down the barrier in enough time in which they can kill you before you kill the barrier. You get what I'm saying? So you'll lose a guy but maybe kill the barrier. That's not a great trade. So sometimes, you know, if you picked a Reinhardt there, you could push forward through the choke and it would be more effective than playing that Genji or playing that McCree or whatever because you didn't have any tanks. So always try to think, what hero could I play will help my team? Forget about what the enemy's doing. Think about helping your team and you will win more games. Number 4, combo ultimates. This is essential. Absolutely essential. Where I play the game, I'm borderline Grandmasters. One day I will get GM. I'm like 2 wins off GM or something ridiculous. But where I play the games are won and lost off combo and ultimates, right? When you've got ultimates available, if you go in and get the right combo off, so you get that Earth Shatter and the Diva Bomb, and you kill the enemy team, you'll win that engagement and move forward. Now, at the lower levels, it's not so cut and dry. But if you do combo a couple of ultimates in a game, you will win. So if you're playing Ana and you've got a Soldier on your team, and the visor is available, nano visor, and the visor's available, attack visor, you can nano him, and then he's got nano visor, which is an awesome combo, and that will cut through the enemy team. You don't necessarily need too much communication for this as well, because you just listen for the audio prompt, and keep looking at the score screen as well, at the limited score screen, to see if the ultimates are available. If Soldier has his ultimate, be aware, think, alright, if I ult him now, he's going to be able to rip through the enemy team. Maybe you're playing Zarya and you notice that you've got a Hanzo on your team and his ultimate is available. If you grab, maybe you do sound the microphone, Hanzo, let's combo. That's all you've got to say. You don't have to make friends with these people. You grab, he combos through it with Dragon Strike and you just kill the enemy team. That will win you games and it will win you a ton of games, especially in silver and gold and low platinum, because there is hardly any combos that happen at those points. If you combo, you will win. You will absolutely win. And the final point, number 5, this is communication, but not just any old communication. It is positive communication. I do not expect people who are in silver and gold and low platinum to have a massively detailed understanding of the game. Some of the, all of the audio that I've heard in all of the clips that I've been watching back for Overanalyzed, especially in the lower tiers, the information is quite frankly wrong. People will be on the microphone and they'll say, we need a Winston because they've got a Reaper. It's like, what? That is like, no. Reaper would like murder Winston. That's a really bad pick, and like that's bad advice. So you do get bad advice. So what I'm not saying is try and give advice or say, oh, I've heard this, you should do this. Get off Hanzo, he's crap, because that guy in Hanzo might be great. Instead, be positive. It's dead simple to do this. Just praise people when they do good stuff. So if you've got that Hanzo guy on your team and he gets 2 or 3 kills, Hanzo, great job. That's all you've got to say. That is a major morale boost to Hanzo, and he will play better because he's like, oh yeah, people are loving what I'm doing. This is awesome. You've got a Reinhardt and he pulls off a charge, and it's a great charge. Tell him, great charge, Ryan. That's all you've got to do. If you be positive, you will win games. This happens at my level as well. People will tilt pretty quick. Like if a combo, like say a basic combo like the black hole combo, so Graviton and Tracer Bomb. Say you grab, but Tracer doesn't follow up. That could make the team tilt really easy where I'm playing, because it'd be like, well, where the hell was Tracer? Where's the thing? And then they start like arguing with each other, and that's not great. So even being positive there and at any level of the game is awesome. Like I generally would say, oh, it's all right, it was just a mistake, you know, we'll get it next time. Be positive. If you be positive, you will just win more games. It is an absolute fact. So to just quickly recap what we've gone over. Number 1, and this is a crucial one, do your job. Whatever hero you're playing, play the hero how it's designed to be played. If you're playing Reinhardt, protect your team, play safe. You don't have to be crazy, you don't have to go over the top, because you're low silver, you're gold, you're platinum, you're not high diamond, you're not master. You don't have to do crazy tactics with Reinhardt to make things happen. You've just got to play simple. If you're playing Soldier 76, just focus on damaging the enemy. Don't be trying to do crazy flanks or anything ridiculous. Play safe, play standard, burn down the barriers, just be safe. Number 2 is don't overextend, which again is just don't be safe. Don't go too deep. If you get a kill, that's awesome, but resist the urge to just dive in and go crazy deep. And always make sure you defend around points. Don't defend in front of the enemy choke. That is the worst thing ever. If you see your team doing that, say, guys, we need to pull back, because you really need to pull back. Number 3 is intelligent picks, and what that means is picking to complement your team. Ignore what the enemy team are doing, because screw them. Whatever they've picked, that's up to them. You need to pick stuff which is going to help your team. If you don't have a Reinhardt to push through a choke, maybe get a Reinhardt. If you don't have any tanks, maybe play a tank. If you don't have any supports, you need a support. You will not win Overwatch games without a support character. However the meta changes, and like I said, that doesn't really matter as such, but standard builds like 2 healers, 2 tanks, 2 DPS, that's great and that'll get you pretty far. But if you've got 1 healer, 1 tank and then a load of DPS, that's going to be difficult, because the healer is not going to be able to keep the whole team up. It's going to be very, very difficult. Whereas swapping a DPS out for another healer would be an awesome change and would give you a much higher chance of winning the game, like a crazy higher chance of winning. Number 4, combo your ultimates. Just make sure you use them when you know there's a combo available. So like in the example I give, if you're Ana, look for Soldier. If his nano visors, well, if his visor's available, you nano him, he's got nano visor, you win. These will win games. And lastly, it's positive communication. Always be positive. Resist the urge to tilt, because it will spread like wildfire through your team and you will start losing games. In fact, the majority of games that do get lost in the lower levels is because of complete tilting. They see a Torbjorn, they see a Hanzo, and they go crazy. They see a Bastion, they're like, oh my god, get off Bastion, it's the worst thing ever. It's like, well no, Bastion can be quite good. You know, you just got to use them correctly. Alright guys, I've been Salosa, and this is Unit Lost, and you can get from Silver to Diamond. It is easy. Anybody who is in Silver and Diamond, or between Silver and Diamond, you all pretty much have the same sort of accuracy. There will be some discrepancies. Some players will be better than others, that's for sure. But your understanding of the game needs to get a little bit better, and you can go from Silver straight into Diamond. I honestly believe it. Gold and Silver, there's very little difference. Platinum as well, very little difference. All it means is the Platinum players have got a better understanding of the game than the Silver players. So if you do these 5 simple things, you will win more games, and you will get out of Silver, you will get out of Gold, you will get into Platinum, then you'll get into Diamond, and then from Diamond into Masters, then you need to work on your accuracy. But by the time you've played all of those games, you will become a more accurate player anyway. Keep doing the basics, then you can start getting fancy, then you get into Masters, then you get into High Masters, then you get into Grand Masters, then you get into Top 500. It's easy, guys. Alright guys, I've been Salosa, this is Unit Lost, and I'll catch you on the next one. Toodaloo.